Senator Niall O'Donnell, please.
I'm not a member of this committee, but I always appreciate the opportunity to engage and hear from you. But given that you are at the coalface, and unfortunately we aren't, it seems like we're not going to have the opportunity for an engagement today. But I had a number of questions that I think it's important to put on record anyway, and maybe for the next session you can come in with the answer. Before I do that, I just want to reference Sandra Crockwell's points, because I think it's important for the purposes of balance. You can't on the one hand admire people for pulling on the green jersey and then whip the green jersey off to have a pop at people who adhere to a democratic imperative not to take their seat in Westminster. So if we're going to talk about democratic imperatives, let's remember that very core one. So I'll not hang on that one for too long. Martina Anderson referred to it in her own contribution, a number of the issues I want to raise. And the first one is, because of the nature of it, and other colleagues have mentioned the issue of the border, it seems to me like the cast iron guarantees that the Taoiseach may have got from Theresa May seem much more precarious than they could have done a number of weeks ago. And it was really just to ask if you wanted to expand on that. And is there merit in asking the Taoiseach publicly and privately to do more to ensure that those commitments from the British Government are honoured, given what Martina Anderson outlined in terms of the previous form of British negotiation teams when it comes to Ireland. One of the issues that I have raised consistently, and my Senate colleagues will be well aware of this, is that there's 800 to 900,000 Irish and therefore EU citizens in the north. And Taoiseach has said those citizens won't be abandoned, which I support fully. When Guy Verhofstadt was here, he also said that our EU citizenship, those of us who are going to be held hostage in a post-Brexit scenario, won't be undermined or weakened in any way. So there's two questions that flow from that, Las Caherly, and then I'll finish up. One is, should one or more of the 2 additional MEP seats for Ireland be used to represent those Irish citizens in the north, given, as Sandra Crockwell says, we did vote to remain in the EU? And secondly, I have raised on a number of occasions the Irish Government potentially putting their money where their mouth is in terms of practical infrastructural service investment in the north, through something like the location of a Irish passport office in the 6 counties, given that last year alone over 82,000 applications came from the north, but also the idea of a citizenship hub, a facility that would be dedicated in terms of supporting citizens in the north to engage with the government around, and indeed the EU structures around their rights and entitlements post-Brexit. Finally, Vice Chair, on the issue of PESCO, my concerns around PESCO aren't nonsense. They're very sincerely and legitimately, I believe, held. I believe PESCO moves us into very unsavoury ground that has the potential to impinge upon Ireland's neutral status. For example, on issues like where I think we can be very proud of the Defence Force operations in the Mediterranean, which has a humanitarian focus. It has the potential to move that right in to a much more militarised and, I believe, anti-immigrant and anti-asylum seeker status. So I wouldn't simply dismiss, because we disagree, and Sandra Crockwell isn't here anymore, the concerns that we, and indeed many other human rights, humanitarian and charitable organisations have in relation to PESCO. Sinead.
Just said that, Senator Martina Anderson, please, MEP.
I'm going to capture what has been said by Mr Durkin, by Mairead and by others, who are telling us that it's not a fudge, who are telling us that it is going to be put into law, that are telling us that the Irish Government is going to stand over the cash guarantees that they say have been given in December. But I will also remind us all that the British Government have got a historical track record for reneging in every agreement that they ever signed up to. And you know that too. And we know that too. And that's part of the problems that we are having in the north. And that goes back to what Mairead has said about, you know, the reckless behaviour of the British Government and where they may be going with this and the damage that it could do to us all. But I take on board and accept what you're saying, that is where this is going, that it's going to be put into law. And within that, it says no diminution of rights. So it is about ensuring that the rights and entitlements of the people of the North are upheld. 50 years on after the Civil Rights Campaign, and it's the Irish Government that needs to ensure that we stand over the rights. You know, and we've had the comments made around the issue around the passports and the people of the North. It's not just because you hold an Irish passport. 1.8 million of us have been afforded as a result of the Good Friday Agreement to be British or Irish or both. And that means that the rights need to be applied to all of the people of the North, whether you hold an Irish passport or not. But absolutely, without doubt, we need passport offices in the North. But that's another subject matter. The principle of consent that was built into the Good Friday Agreement, that is what, and it's gone back, and I know he has left, when he has talked about the people in the North, and we're part of the UK. We, for the first time in the North, have been given an opportunity to be able to identify ourselves as Irish, for our Irish citizenship to be recognised, and for the aspirations of Irish unity to be taken forward in a border poll. And let us remember what the Council in April give a signal to the people of Ireland when it said that in the event of the Good Friday Agreement border poll being triggered, that would mean that the North of Ireland would rejoin the EU. And that was the European Council on the 29th. And therefore, what we need is the Irish Government to become facilitators of that. And let's, in terms of, maybe he doesn't realise it, who has left, but I also just want everyone to know, in case people listening don't realise, there is already a border in the Irish Sea. Animal produce, plant produce are all checked at a port in Belfast and at an airport in Belfast. Now, I'm not saying that border needs to be enhanced. I don't want to see a border north, south or east or west, but let people be realising of the fact that for decades there has already been a border. Why were we able on this island to tackle blue ton? Because we were able to work together on an all-Ireland basis. So there is already a border in the Irish Sea. You don't have to have new infrastructure put in place. But what cannot happen, never be accepted by anyone in this island, is that a re-emergence of a harder border in Ireland. And that cannot be tolerated. And I accept that that's something that everyone in this committee is saying.
Thank you, Madam. I'd like to call